The Vietnam missions in Call of Duty Black Ops and Black Ops Cold War were based off real events. Okay, so remember in Black Ops 1, when you go from Ksaw into Laos to find a crashed Soviet plane housing Nova 6, and Hudson goes to you and says,
Jason Hudson, CIA. We're here to talk about your encounter with Russians in Laos.
Well, the Americans did encounter Russians in Laos, just 7 years earlier. The situation in Laos during the Vietnam War is confusing to say the least, but around 1962, the Neutralist faction was fighting the US-backed Royalist faction in Vientiane and lost. This led to the Soviet Union providing airlifts in their Ilyushans to the Neutralist Laotians to North Vietnamese and Pathet Lao held territory. The Pathet Lao and North Vietnamese used Soviet airlifts throughout the war in Laos, fighting the Hmong and Royal Laos forces. So basically, Black Ops is real! So that's why
we've got a job to do.
Okay, now in Black Ops Cold War, remember when Bell comes up to you to go to Firebase Ripcord to take a
vital asset?
That asset was a fucking nuke in Vietnam, and you go,
we've got a job to do.
Well, following the end of the Vietnam War in March 1975, the USA and Kissinger realized decades into the conflict, oh shit, we made a nuclear power plant and put it in Dalat, South Vietnam, and the nuke plant had a fucking nuclear reactor core, and the last thing the US wants is for Charlie to get his hands on it. So the CIA sends a rescue squad to take the reactor before it lands into North Vietnamese hands. But they had to deal with the fleeing refugees. When the handler questioned why they were taking so long, the squad told them the deal. And in response, the handler tells them to leave the refugees. And they said, "Are you crazy?" And the handler replies, "Shoot the nuke then." And then they said, "No!" And they evacuated the refugees and the reactor before April, when the North Vietnamese finally took Saigon. Years later, that nuclear power plant is still in Dalat today. So that's why